Hey everyone, thank you for joining us. Sarah from RSN, thank you for joining us. Sarah is the president and the chief revenue officer of RSN. And so now, before we dive into the interview, I'm just going to give a quick overview of what we do at Nostra. At Nostra, we take information on who's visiting a website and then display unique and personalized web experiences to that individual, optimized so that they convert to becoming a paid customer, a marketing qualified lead, or whatever the key metric is. Sarah, why don't you give us a quick introduction to RSN and kind of your general marketing strategy?
Arthur, thank you so much for having me. We have some rain here in the Bay Area, which is much needed, but we've been so spoiled with sunshine recently. So I have spent my career in marketing, running marketing for B2B tech companies. And in August of 2018, I joined the RSN team to help run their growth and strategy and marketing efforts. RSN is a startup. We are a technology company that has an innovative and painless way to help companies better buy print and packaging materials. So we have a very, very niche category solution, and we primarily work with marketers and procurement professionals to help them be more efficient and reduce costs associated with printing and packaging materials. So you asked, what is my marketing strategy and kind of what's our philosophy at RSN? So I'm a big believer in marketing driving sales and marketing really being the foundation to generate leads for sales. Now, given our size and that we are an emerging company, we actually don't have salespeople. So all of our growth and leads is really run out of our marketing team, which I think is an interesting way to handle sales and lead gen. And I think we're actually going to see more and more companies kind of pivot to this model. So we break our marketing strategy up into 4 different buckets. Our first bucket is around doing outbound for lead generation. So this is us sending out emails and doing LinkedIn messaging to procurement and marketing executives that spend a lot of money on printed materials. And we have tools and systems that we use to automate those outbound activities. Then when somebody requests or wants more information, we have a really simple and easy follow-up process that includes video to engage and potentially schedule a demo. So lead gen is bucket 1. Bucket 2 is around content creation. We are big believers in that producing and sharing content that's really useful is a very important part of building a brand and providing value to a community that could potentially benefit from our print sourcing services. So what we do around content is a few different things. We produce articles and we partner with third-party publications that are in the marketing and procurement space, and they have databases and distribution lists of thousands of professionals, and we write content for them, and then they distribute it to their networks. We also then share and promote that content on social and on our website. We also host events, which we'll talk about next. That's our third bucket. And in conjunction with some of those events, we produce ebooks. And an ebook is a really short guide, maybe a couple pages of information that allows people to learn more about a specific topic. And then we last year decided to do a benchmark report. And a benchmark report is something that I think can be very useful depending on the industry that you're in, because it gives data and insights and information about the industry as a whole. So for us, our benchmark report gives really useful information around what companies are doing in regards to sourcing and procuring print and packaging, what are some of the major trends, and what are some of the statistics that we've seen as newcomers to that vertical. The third bucket is hosting virtual events. And I think events are a really, really low cost, budget effective way to create content and to generate leads. And lead generation can come in a couple forms when you're hosting events. The first is being able to market and promote people signing up and registering for your events. We currently, all of our events are free, but we do have sponsors that pay for our events. We promote and market them as the sponsors of our different event series, which allows us as RSN to bring in some additional revenue and allows us to make our events free to our communities that we're targeting. The second thing, or when you're doing your events, is you're going to probably want speakers to be involved. So we do a lot of panels because I like to get different perspectives and have different viewpoints. And so I will moderate or we'll have a moderator, someone who's an industry leader. And then we invite people to speak on our panel. And you can be very strategic about inviting people that you want as prospects or that would be good clients for your company. So you're getting in front of decision makers, of people that may buy your product in a very non-salesy way by establishing a relationship and having them speak on a panel. So they're going to learn about your company and your product without you acting as a quote salesperson. And then after the event, you have all the people that registered, you can funnel them into your CRM, and you can continue to target and market and provide useful content to them after the event. If they've registered for the event, it's likely that they're interested in something that your company is talking about or doing, and they may be more open to engaging and communicating later, so ongoing after the event as well. And then the third bucket for us kind of ties into the content bucket, but that is around producing a magazine. So we've actually launched a magazine called Procure Rising. We now co-produce it with another tech startup in the procurement space called BitOps. And we go out and interview people doing really cool and innovative things in marketing and in procurement. And then we tell their story. And we are big believers at RSN, and me personally, that storytelling is a great way to teach lessons and to build a community. So we go out and we interview them, and then we tell their story through our magazine. It's a digital publication, comes out every quarter. We used to also do a printed piece since we're in the printing industry, got to plug print. But with the pivot to COVID, we didn't have enough home addresses that we felt made it worth our while. So it's just digital. And we have a database of about 30,000 people that now get our publication. We have a website specifically for the magazine, which is procurerising.com. And magazines or publications can be a great way to get in front of prospects by going out and interviewing people that you may want to sell to or that may be able to benefit from your product, again, in a very, very non-salesy way.
Fantastic. Wow, it sounds like you've got quite a few initiatives.
Yeah, and I think the important thing is all of them kind of tie in together. And everything kind of funnels into our CRM, and we have a strategy that kind of integrates everything. And that's really important, that everything you're doing can't be siloed. It's all got to come back together and allow you to build an omni-channel marketing strategy.
Absolutely. And, I think a lot of the things that we do at Nostra is taking information from lots of different sources, taking data from a CRM, from a ad portal, from a CDP, wherever the information is from, to then reflect that omni-channel approach on the website, kind of in an account-based marketing type approach for each individual visiting. And so, I agree. It's important to have all those different touch points, and it's also important to track them all, so that when it comes time for personalization, you really can provide a very unique experience. So anyways, kind of to bring this conversation over toward kind of websites and website optimization, kind of what are you seeing from a operating perspective in that space? Like how are you thinking about your website? What would you kind of want to see? What tools are not out there yet or are out there and that you love?
Yeah, so interesting topic. We've actually just been revisiting and making some tweaks and changes to our website in the last month. So very timely. For us, one of the things when we built out our website, I'm a big believer in keeping things really clear and simple. So we try to make all of our messaging, all of our pages, everything you could call basic. I call it simple and clear messaging. One of the things that absolutely drives me crazy is when I go to people's websites and I can't understand what they do in the first 30 seconds. There are times where I'm going around a website for 5 or 10 minutes and I still can't even understand what the company does. So I just encourage any marketer out there, no matter what size, when you are working on a website, make your messaging and everything you do on the website really clear and simple to understand. So I think that's something that's just been a driving force for everything that we've done on our website. So for us, we don't have a lot of pages on our website. Again, it's pretty basic and simple to navigate. And we're doing two main things right now with our website. Our call to action is to get people to register for a demo. So you'll see the buttons and messaging throughout the website, driving people to fill out a very simple form, which comes into our CRM system so we can track and collect that data, but it's also about getting that demo or getting that meeting scheduled. So that's our call to action. And I think it's really important for a company to have a really clear call to action. What are you wanting your viewer to do? The second call to action that we have on our website is our events page. We host 3 event series and we're doing a lot of virtual events. And so we are driving people to our website to then register and sign up for our event. So that's another key touch point on our website. The challenge that we face is with how to correctly message to our different type of prospect. So we have 3 prospects: marketing executives, procurement executives, and now there's a new hybrid role that companies are creating for the first time called marketing procurement. So this is a person that sits on the marketing and the procurement team. So my team and I have a challenge about how do we correctly message and communicate to these 3 different user profiles or 3 different buyers when we have one static website. And that's really challenging because the messaging and the things that we're going to communicate and say to a marketer are completely different than what we want to message and say to a procurement person. And now with this third persona in the mix, marketing procurement, that's a hybrid. So that's something we really, really struggle with, and it's a constant challenge.
Fantastic. And so wouldn't it be great if, you could say, not only am I going to kind of be able to segment these 3 different customer types, but even within that, a marketing individual at Nestle and a marketing individual at, let's say Apple, you want to speak to them differently. They might have different procurement needs. They might have different, they're different consumers. And if you break it down by region, if you break it down by age, there's just so much information that it's really unrealistic to expect a marketer to actually come up and break all of that stuff down and create a different path for each one of those. So what we do at Notion is we use a very strategic artificial intelligence to help create enough content for, that's odd, create enough content for all these visitors, and then also optimize it so the right content is displayed to the right visitor.
Yeah, and Arthur, I think you bring up a really good point when I talked about our biggest challenge with coming up with messaging for our 3 different customer profiles. You then have another layer, which is specific messaging based on the company profile, right? So that's taking it just another step further. And you're right, there may be a cannabis company that is really focused on packaging. There may be a retail company that's really focused on in-store signage. We have a great solution for both, but if we're able to communicate and message our correct offering, that goes so much further than just saying, hi, we can help you source your print. So I love that idea of not only by the customer segment type, but also being able to break it down even further and message by company.
Fantastic. And so when you talk about outreach to your customers, kind of what have been the more effective channels that you've seen, and how are they all tying together for you? I know we've talked on, your omni-channel approach, but for you, where have you seen kind of the highest ROI for you?
Yeah, so our highest ROI has been hosting events. We host a happy hour, which is like a community engagement networking event twice a month, where we get 20, 30, 40, 50 people together to network and collaborate. So those have been our most effective because we're allowing people to actually see each other and message and communicate. I would say our second most effective messaging has come in the form of LinkedIn. We've really invested significant time and resources to build out my page and really kind of establish myself and our team as thought leaders in the print and packaging space. So posting really funny, engaging content, tagging people, and then also building out our company LinkedIn page. I know that there's so many different, social platforms out there, but for us, LinkedIn has definitely been a priority. And then Arthur, I know you and I have talked about before, Clubhouse has also become a really important part of our marketing and messaging strategy. I host 3 rooms a week, and my team and I are pretty engaged on the platform and speaking in rooms. And we've been able to make some really, really good connections by talking to people on that platform. I would say one other thing that I just think is really important is for a marketing team to develop your voice, and authenticity is really important now. Customers want to know who you are as a company and what you stand for. And so whatever that is, make sure it shines through in everything that you do. For us at RSN, we are big believers in humor and making things a little bit fun and lighthearted. Print can be kind of thought of as a really boring old school category, and we're on a mission to change that. So everything we're doing in all aspects of our communication, we're trying to incorporate humor, and that has worked really well for us also.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, if people want to reach out to you and check out RSN and get that demo that you're always optimizing for, what's the best way for them to reach you? Or if they want to check out your content on Clubhouse or elsewhere, how would be the best way to kind of interact with you and RSN?
So best way to reach me is on LinkedIn. If you just type in Sarah Scudder, I should come up in the top 3. So feel free to send me a connect request or follow me on LinkedIn. Our company website is rsnetwork.com. And then I host 3 rooms a week on Clubhouse. If you send me a note on LinkedIn, I'm happy to send you some further information about those.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I look forward to continuing our relationship, and I know our viewers thank you for spending your time with us.
Well, thank you for having me.